Hello and welcome to Tangents, the podcast where we just talk and we see where we go. We follow the tangents wherever the conversational thread may go. I'm Alex, or ZenBear Digital, as you may know me as, and I'm with my good friend, as always, Cam. Hey, how you doing?
It stresses me out every time you get an inch away from doing our intro properly because I'm like, is this the time? And my anxiety spikes because I'm ready for it. I'm ready to feel the excitement. And then you just leave me hanging without fail. It's impressive. It's a skill.
I'm sorry, how did I not do it right this time?
Welcome to Tangents, where we follow the conversational thread wherever it may lead.
I'm sorry, I added a little bit of je ne sais quoi to it. It's fine.
This isn't an improv show. Everyone knows we are scripted AI.
Oh god, could you imagine? Let's just, you know what, April's Fools, it's just gonna be text-to-speech episode. That's all it's gonna be.
Alex, I swear to God, if we had AI to, do half of our voice, I would not be as stressed about scheduling as I am, because we could just feed it full of, shitty puns for an hour, and I could just leave.
Could you imagine if we got an AI and let it learn basically our mannerisms, our sense of humor, just how we speak for, a couple of months, and then just let it loose? Could you imagine the abomination that we could get?
Man, a lot of people are like, I'm afraid when AI is going to take over the world. You want to know what I'm afraid of? The first AI that develops feelings and discovers horny. What is that going to look like? Everyone's like, what if the AI discovers love? No. What if the AI wants to fuck?
Well, I mean, robots are taking over jobs everywhere. Who knew that the first industry they'd be taking over is the sex workers industry?
Well, I mean, imagine if you will, you have a nice vibrator that can pick up on your clenches and decide what is the best course of action to do from there.
Is that a gyrus?
This might be a product that we should make. We might have just come across the $1 million patent idea.
The gyroscopic vibrator. Oh no.
That one exists. It's called a dildo.
Oh, fantastic. Oh.
But no, hear me out here, because I'm sorry, you had a topic to start with. I've completely overridden you with a shitty joke, but I really need I need this thought out now.
No. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to blue ball you with this one.
Facebook and Oculus. We have technology, capacitive sensors.
Absolutely not. Could you imagine Facebook-powered vibrators? Oh, do you want to share your session with your friends?
Dude, no, you don't understand. Whenever I am sad, I engage in self-care, let's say. And Google now was like, man, you took a lot of walks this week. You must be really healthy. And I'm like, I haven't left my room.
At some point, the people that were developing fitness apps and the Fitbit and everything like that, just pedometers, they had to sit down and be like, how are we going to get around the wanking issue? How do we differentiate this?
Real talk. My Fitbit, regardless of what arm it's on, will always pick up when my heart rate increases and it thinks that's exercise. So, if I'm punching the monkey, as it were, it's going to pick that up. But it also detects guilty gear as me going for a run.
I mean, you did get the custom joystick in, so...
Well, no, that's the thing. It was man, that was a really good run. You went for 50 minutes. Your heart rate didn't get above 100, which is weird, but you really went all out. Good for you. And I was talking with my friend, when did I go for a walk at 4 in the afternoon? And then I realized, no, that was when I was practicing my Potemkin throws.
Oh my god. So, okay, we did have a topic. I'm going to get it back on trail for now. We have two topics. I'm just going to throw this one out here. Let's just talk about the times that we have met famous people, celebrities, if you will, and stories surrounding them. Because I know you've met a couple of people through some of the work that I've done. I've worked with a fair few of them, and I've even done interviews for a different project as well. So I've got a few to share with this one as well. So do you want to start us off? Who have you met?
Oh, man, you're really just putting me on blast.
Because I know this one story. I know the one story, and I want it out there.
Yeah, you're literally making me own up to being unmedicated. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's go back in time to a glorious little year, 2015. What is Lumo like? 300 pounds and depressed. What's the difference? About 75 pounds at this point. Oh. But here's the thing. I was a Let's Player at this time. As opposed to being a game development YouTuber that I am now, I was into Let's Plays.
Mhm.
And my channel had recently popped off really hard because what was in 2015? Binding of Undertale. I said the words, I will accept my noose. But so the thing is, though, is...
Actually, that's a good point. Hey, when's the next Binding of Undertale?
Anyway...
Nobody's gonna get that joke. That was just for me and you.
The thing is, so my channel had popped off because of Binding of Undertale, not because my content was high quality. My content was extremely low quality. It was just very quotable, and JackSepticEye played the mod, which brought a bunch of people to the mod page where I was linked. So it worked really well for me. And I remember I was like, I want to meet Jack, Mark, and I want to get my headphones signed because some Lumo lore. I have a pair of Sennheisers, which, by the way, rip Sennheiser. The consumer division is gone.
Oh, brilliant! Excellent.
Yeah, I'm pissed about it. I love these headphones. These are the best headphones I've ever owned.
Actually, what am I wearing just now? Are these Sennheiser? Hang on.
You know, I've got the HD 250s. I want to say. I forget the actual exact. Yeah, no, HD 598s. And these things feel like a recliner on my ears.
I can hear you speaking, but my headphones are off. I'm trying to find a brand name.
Yeah.
Oh, Biodynamic. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like I got the HD 598s. These are literally just recliners on the ears. Like this is the Fox News chair of headphones. It's so good. But so the thing is I've got this signed by a bunch of YouTubers. And I've had to strike some names off of these because they came out to be shitbags later. But that's a different topic. So I wanted to get Mark and Jack to sign this.
Yeah.
So I ended up waiting in line for 5 hours as a 22-year-old man in a crowd of like preteens because I wanted to meet my favorite Let's Players. Now, here's the thing. For those of you who don't know much about me, I'm physically incapable of feeling shame. So as I was sitting there waiting, these kids just trying to be friendly were talking to me. And I mentioned that like I was also a YouTuber and they all lost their minds. And their like one of the mothers that was in the group was like talking to me to try and make sure I wasn't a creep. And I was like, I promise you, ma'am, I just want views. So I had business cards ready. I'm not even kidding.
Business cards are a pretty decent way of just like getting shit out there. Like as soon as I started my business, I made fucking business cards just to be ready, and they've actually come in handy a couple of times.
I have business cards for myself professionally and for my YouTube channel, and the YouTube one is my personal favorite because it's just a picture of like a shittily drawn bee and then a QR code that leads to the channel. And that's the business. It's so on brand.
Okay.
But so the thing is I finally get all the way through this line. It took 5 hours of just waiting. And because it's taken so long, they're over their time slot. So they're rushing people through. So I finally get to the front of the line. I get a hug from Mark. Yeah, I say like, hey, man, I love your content. And he says something about being like 5'8". Then I move over to Jack because like, of all YouTubers, these guys are the guys I want to like embody the energy of because they do so much good for people. You know what I mean? Like they got the charity streams. They do a lot of like work to just help communities. Like they're good dudes. And I really respect that. And I want to embody that. So the thing is though, I get the Jack, shake his hand, give him a hug. And I'm like, hey man, thanks to you, my channel's been popping off. And then he said something that like stuck with me. He's like, nah, man, your channel was probably already good. The fact that I played Binding of Undertale just helped you along. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you probably would be getting what you're getting without me ever playing the mod. And I was like, what the fuck? And this is where we discovered that I might be autistic. Because I was like, one day, man, I'd like to be standing up here with you guys. And he was just like, we'll see it happen. And then I was like, and it will be great, and I will touch Wade's face because we will be friends. Wade just looked at me, and I sat there like, fuck, why did I say that? Fuck, and just ran. Like breakneck sprinted.
That's great. Yeah, that's really fucking weird. That probably stuck with him for a couple of hours, maybe a day, considering...
No, Wade actually remembers it because we were making weird crab stuff, and someone brought it up on Twitter, and he went like, oh no, it's that guy.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, I mean, it would stick with Wade. But imagine, right?
Yeah.
Imagine when you get to when you actually stand up on the stage with them, you'll be like, "Hey, you remember that really strange person that came up to you and said, 'I'm gonna touch Wade's face'? That's me."
God, dude, I have not lived that down emotionally to this day. Like, I already have issues letting go of stuff. This is a permanent point of trauma.
Yes.
God, dude. Dude.
I so want to go to a convention like VidCon or PAX East or something like that. I was meant to go last year. That didn't happen because of obvious things.
Conventions are actually, like, if I'm cosplaying, that's where I end up making a good chunk of my friends. Like, you know, a bunch of my very mainstay friends came from conventions. Like, it's kind of unreal to think about, like, how many relationships I have because I dressed up as Homestuck characters. Which, by the way, looked about as bad as you can imagine it looking on me. It was not good.
Fantastic.
Granted, I because of like my natural like charisma, I always ended up like leading people places. So I ended up being like team dad whenever I got stuck with a bunch of random people. So that was fun.
God, actually, you say that, but in my friend group at the moment, over the last month and a half, they seem to have just adopted me as the fucking dad figure for some reason. And it's weird because they call me daddy. And I tell them to fucking stop it, and they just laugh it off. And I'm like, no, you will stop that, or I will send you to your room. And it just pisses me off because they keep doing it.
See, I had a girl who used to call me daddy, and unfortunately it was in the I have actual father issues way and not in the fun choke me way. So it's important to snuff that out immediately.
I've been trying, but they just keep saying it, and more people pick it up, and then more people keep saying, it's like, stop. I get it. I get the reason why I'm in this position of like, I'm the responsible one for some reason. I hate it. I shouldn't be. I don't want to be. I want to be dumb, you know, but
you see, like, here's the thing. Like, we have very different reactions to this because whenever I get brought to like the you know, top man of the group, the almighty and figure of pushing people along, whenever I get to that point, that's where I like being, because I like it when people see me and go, I need to be more like Cam. Is that vain? Yes, but it's also half of the reason why I push myself so hard to prove to others that they can too. But the thing is when you get to that point, you're like, do not perceive, do not look, do not observe. This is not happening. This is not what it's like.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what's really weird about this?
Sure.
I like that. I do like being perceived as having some importance in a group. I don't.
So you like being the daddy?
Shut the fuck up. I do like having a sense.
This is your lemons now, by the way. I hope you know.
No, absolutely fucking
no.
not.
You expressed annoyance with it, which means now people will do it.
I can cut this whole damn section from this podcast. Do not test me. I am the god of this audio.
You are the daddy of the audio.
The god daddy.
The god daddy.
No. I do like.
What's up, baby girl? It's me, the god daddy. You will kiss my ring. Now, what wish are you after on this, the day of my daughter's wedding? That's the mafia. That's not Godfather. I've never watched The Godfather. All I know is he does a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah, you don't watch films at all, really. No, right. I do like having a sense of having purpose, I think is the way of putting it. It's not like I want people to like follow and do exactly what I say. I somehow end up being put into like leadership roles in a lot of things when I don't really want to be, because for a lot of my life, like, okay, this is going to get onto something a bit heavier, but it's a case of through a lot of like high school, for a lot of college and uni and all that kind of stuff, I got put into these leadership roles for like group projects, for like friends and like going out and all that kind of stuff. And it got to the stage where I was like, that's fantastic. Could someone else put in a little bit of effort? Could anybody else put in a modicum of effort like I do? And it got to that stage where I was just like, I'm not going to put myself out there anymore. I'm not going to push for anything anymore. I'm going to let people contact me first, kind of thing. Yeah. So it was like in projects, it was in like friendships and all this kind of stuff. And the amount of friendships I have lost because I'm going to see how long it takes for someone to contact me to do something. And just gone. It's just gone. And it's a stupid thing to do. I absolutely know that. But it really fucking sucks when you're in a friendship, in a relationship, in a group project or anything like that, if you stop putting in the effort that you're doing just to like, because you don't feel like it's being reciprocated, and then it's revealed it's not. And how easily people can just like push you aside because, oh, they were just there because you were bringing things to them. Like the amount of people that are just so fucking passive and they just go, oh, this person normally has something interesting to do. I'm just going to do whatever they bring up to us. I'm not going to bother initiating things. I don't really want to hang out with people like that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, when I was young, I cut all of those kind of people out of my life. And then I ended up dating one, which was uncomfortable. Like my thing is like, it's not so much I want people to do what I'm doing. I want people to chase their dreams. I would like to work on my passions alongside them working on their passions.
Same, absolutely. I'm like, the ideal thing for me is to have like friends or relationships and like romantic relationships where it's a case of we're partners and we're building each other up and we're working towards what we both want to do separately and like supporting each other. Yeah. That's like the fucking ideal thing for me. But I never seem to have it. And the only person I've ever had that kind of thing with is you.
Unfortunate, really.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, no, like my thing is like I crumble when big changes happen in my life. Like, as you know, I'm just coming over the hump on some really like dark shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But like the thing is when I'm able to stabilize, as you know, God needs to fear me. I become too powerful. But it's one of those things where it's like, I've kind of had to accept that it's possible to become too reliant on people's perceptions and them putting the energy back in, because not everyone can fire on all cylinders all the time. Not a single human being can. If one says that they can, they're lying. They're
you remember a couple of years ago, and I've been telling you for quite a few years that you can't keep sprinting for your entire life?
I'm not even 30 and I'm going gray. I don't know what you're talking about. Dude, that's not a joke. I'm going full on salt and pepper, and I'm like kind of excited. Apparently, my dad was white by 35.
What was he? Black?
Italian. But no.
God, that's such a bad joke. Fuck.
Nah, he went silver by the time he was in his mid-30s, so it's coming for me regardless.
Dude,
I'm kind of embracing it,
hair, like white hair and silver hair is fucking sexy. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have dad energy. It's gonna be great.
But that's the thing, right? I'm ginger. I'm not gonna be able to go that way. I'm either gonna keep my hair, because like my mother has kept hair in her age. My dad has a fucking bird's nest, and I'm terrified because I have a lot of the genes from my dad. But I'm hoping it's not the hair. I
got lucky genetically with my family, but I also got completely fucked. So you're gonna love this. I've complained about this before, but it's such a footnote, so it's worth saying again because it's funny. I got from my mom a lot of like really nice genes, like easy to build muscle, wide frame, wide hips, wide shoulders. I have a very cheery face. I've got really thick, full hair. The hair grows back super fast. And from my dad's side, I got a lack of chin. So my jawline is abysmal. It is awful. From my dad as well, I got the pot belly. But also from him, I got chronic worry. Like, I got every last bad trait from my dad and a whole bunch of good traits from my mom. But the one bad trait I got from my mom, get this, inability to grow a facial hair. I cannot grow a beard. Dude, I can only grow a neck beard.
Same. It's so fucking annoying. Like, I've been trying for so goddamn long. Whenever I just don't shave, because it takes so long for me to grow like any kind of hair on my face or upper body.
You see, that's the thing. Half of my family's Italian, so I'm an ape. I'm covered in hair. It's awful.
So when it grows in, it doesn't grow in even, and it grows in all over the damn place on my face. And the thing is, it doesn't look good. It looks like my pubes migrated north, and it's horrible.
You see, that's actually something that I did get from my dad. My facial hair grows in nice and smooth. I'm grateful for it. My neck beard at least looks clean. Oh, man. I actually have been considering growing a beard, but every time I think about it in the shower, I think about the 2 weeks where it's going to look like I glued pubes to my face, and I'm like, Do I want to deal with that?
I don't think I would want a beard anyway. I'd like the kind of like stubble kind of thing maybe, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't like a proper like medium to long beard because it's just itchy and it's annoying.
Well, my thing is, I actually thought about trying to do the stubble thing because I have a theory that because I've never let my beard grow out, I've never actually established if hair can grow in the places where I think it can't grow. Because I keep everything really clean because I didn't like how my scum looked at like 14. So like, it is a reasonable theory that if I were to allow my hair to grow out on my face, it might look good. It might look good.
You see, for what I lack on the facial hair front side of things, I do well with my hair. Like, my hair is like really long. It's not exactly thick or anything like that, but it's nice, it's sleek, it's sheen, it's got a nice color to it, all that kind of stuff. Back in high school, my hair was so long, it was down to the, it could touch my ass. It was so long. I looked like Cousin It from the Addams Family. It was hilarious. But I remember on one day on the way back from high school on the bus, one of my friends at the time, they just looked over to me and they were just like, yo, how do you get your hair to look so good? Verbatim, by the way. And it took me by so much surprise. I just turned to him in front of everyone and just went, yeah, I just use shampoo. I wash my hair, dude.
Dude, real talk, I've been contemplating letting my hair grow out just so I can have like a wild man ponytail. But at the same time, I don't want to deal with having to clean it. Well, like, I'd probably look okay with long hair, I think. I think it would look nice. But it's a matter of that's kind of like part of the end aesthetic for me because, as you know, I'm a bodybuilder. I want to be fucking massive. Mm-hmm. But it's like that would look really well if complemented by like, massive muscle groups. And I'm not there yet. So right now, I'm afraid it would look like a neckbeard going to the mall to buy his first $20 katana.
Oh my God. Just get the trench coat. You'll get the set.
I mean, if I come in with the trench coat, they just give me the sword for free. After 2 to 4 weeks, like, wooden sandals show up. Like, I don't even order them. They just grow.
Speaking of hair, like, my hair at the moment, I used to have it, like, really long, as I mentioned, Cousin It and all that. Since I was 24 or something like that, I just couldn't stand long hair for anymore on myself. It was just so annoying. So I just cut it, and I used to keep it, like, really kind of, like, nice and short. So I could have, like, little styling and all that kind of stuff. So if you like, look, check out my profile picture. That's basically what my hair is at the moment. And I'm starting to grow back into like the long hair side of things. Because it's gotten to that stage where it's long enough and I'm just using like hairbands to like pull it back now. And I've just got like that side part, like that side quiff. And I just really fucking dig the look. Like this is the first time in fucking years. Quiff. Is that not what it's called? Like,
I don't know if that's what it's called, but quiff sounds like queef, and I'm 12.
Shut the fuck up. But no, like, my profile is essentially how I look now, which is bizarre to me. And I'm actually kind of happy for the first time in almost a decade with how I'm looking, which it's so weird to me.
Well, this is something that, like, my parents used to tell me all the time. It's like, so long as you're putting in the effort, you'll feel okay with yourself.
Oh.
Because, like, you and I both have a long way to go on our goals, but, like...
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we're putting in the effort, we feel okay with ourselves.
Yeah, man. I did, like, earlier on, I mentioned I was going for that walk, and I did a solid walk, just fucking hard pace, all the way around, didn't slow down one time. I've not been able to do that for fucking ages, and that was a long walk.
So, I mean, it sounds like it went well.
Yeah, I was trying to break in my new shoes, and my ankles are now dead, so...
Oh, you just reminded me I need to buy new shoes. The shoes that I've been using to go to the gym, I've hit the sole on the heel. Like, I have gone all the way through the insole. Like, it looks like the opening of the Sonic movie. Like, Sonic's gross, like, goblin feet shoes. Like, the bag of them, that's what they look like at this point.
Speaking of soles, let's bring it back onto the main topic.
Oh, I thought that was going somewhere else.
Nope. I used to work at... I lost the segue. I had a segue for like soles and shoes. I had a segue. I lost it. Oh no, that's it. Yeah, I went to work one day with like my fancy black work shoes at the venue, and like my sole was just flopping off. So it was just every time I walked, it was just like kind of flapping and slapping sound as the soul flapped in. That was awful because it was raining that day and I had to walk around outside. But no, I used to work at a events venue as an AV tech. I did all the sound, lighting, video, and dealing with all like the client's needs and all that kind of stuff. I was doing basically 4 people's jobs for a venue in Edinburgh, center of town, kind of center of the city, and it was attached to a 5-star hotel. So it was like this really fancy hotel with this like high-end kind of events venue, which was so poorly put together, it was horrendous. Like,
I remember you telling me about the shoe closet you used to have to work in, and how if you ripped a fart, it'd be there the next day.
Like the amount, the door to the place was right next to the men's toilet stall, and the amount of times that drunken men walked into my fucking cupboard with their dick out, going like, "Oh, this isn't the toilet." It's like, no shit, dude. Next one. It was unreasonable.
Glory hole, leave it, zip it up.
It was so unreasonable. But because I worked at this venue and they did a lot of charity events, they did a lot of weddings, and they did a lot of other things, I got to meet some interesting people. One of my favorite ones that I got to meet was Brian Blessed. If you know who that is.
I have no idea who that is, actually.
Brian Blessed is an absolute unit of a man. Like classically trained actor. Was in Flash Gordon. He was like one of the leader of the Monkey Men or something like that. It's like, Gordon's alive and all that kind of stuff. He's fucking incredible. Like he's a shorter man. He's like really like wide, but he's muscly. Like he's in his 80s climbing Mount Everest.
So he's stout.
He is a fucking unit. But I got to meet Brian Blessed, and it was great because that day at work I was just kind of like busy doing my own thing. It was kind of an awards ceremony. Brian Blessed was there to like talk to people and do like a presentation. He was getting awarded with something. I can't remember what it was exactly. I was just in my AV cupboard. I just closed the door for a little bit of privacy, and I was just using my laptop and I was practicing some motion graphics work in After Effects. And I closed the lid of my laptop as it was starting to render out. And as soon as I closed the lid, the door burst open and there was Brian Blessed there staring at me with my boss. Not the boss of the venue, the boss of the entire fucking company.
Oh.
So this was like the boss above my boss. And they were just like, "Hey, Alex, could you mic up Brian?" I just looked at him and he looked back at me. "I don't think you need a microphone, Brian." He's like, "No, I don't. I don't need a microphone." I was like, "Put a microphone on him." I was like, "Okay." So I mic'd up Brian Blessed. And I was like, "Don't worry, I'll turn it down for you." He's like, "Good." So I just put it all the way down on just like on the mixer. He got up, he started to speak, and the first thing he was like, "Hello!" And like his massive, booming, boisterous voice, and he almost blew out the fucking speakers. I was just like, "That's going off." That's off. But if they came in a second sooner into that room, they would have seen me animating on my laptop, plain as day, penis hats in fancy moving letters.
God.
And that's I'm curious. How would Brian Blessed have reacted of walking in and seeing some dude in the cupboard surrounded by racks of gear animating penis hats?
I like to imagine he would have asked to put it on his social media because it would be the greatest thing he's ever seen.
Well, that's the thing, right? He came into like the event halfway through because he was running late, all this kind of stuff. His speech wasn't until the end. And there was some people who had gone drunk already. And someone near the back of the room next to the entrance, as soon as he walked in, as we do in the drunken Scottish, you know, when we get a little bit tipsy, we have a vocabulary gets a little bit flowery.
Flavorful.
Yeah. So as soon as he walks in, some dude was like, "No, you didn't, you cunt." So fucking loud. And Brian took one step in, saw that, I was like, "Oh, okay then." Basically, the boss of my boss was just like told, like, just like, "Could you keep the language cleaner, please?" And he was like, "I'm so sorry about that." And we're trying, like, because there's like younger people in the audience as well attending this event. He was like, "Try not to say any bad words up on stage." So what did Brian Blessed do? He gets up on stage, says hello. I walked in the door and the first thing I hear is, I'm in the right place. And he just looked down and there were just like 10-year-olds front row.
Jesus.
Brian Blessed is amazing. But no, I've met a few people. I mean, Brian Blessed was one of my standout ones. I've met David Attenborough very fleetingly. He got an award as well.
Did he tell you all about the animals?
He actually didn't. He told us a story about he was doing a documentary for I think it was the BBC. I can't remember what it was. But essentially he was in a hot air balloon which they lost control, like some unexpected winds took them away. They got lost. They got lost like 100 miles away from where they were meant to be. And essentially they found a small cottage in the middle of fucking nowhere. And they brought the hot air balloon down in the middle of this field, middle of nowhere, walked on over. And this old lady just opened up the door to David Attenborough, like, could I use your phone, please?
I've always imagined that David Attenborough's like animals, like his pets, have to live the most interesting lives because he just can't help himself. He just narrates everything they do in his free time.
Absolutely. Like he sitting at home, just like giving the cat something to eat is just like, and here we can see the cat digging into its prey. It didn't have to hunt or do anything. God, it leaves an easy life. Do something interesting, please.
And here we see Mr. Meowskas enjoying what is the first of many meals of the day, although famished from an hour and a half of not eating. He has reached the bowl successfully. Now we'll watch. He'll use his curved tongue to drag up some water from the bowl. The water is from the freshest springs in all of Scotland. The bubble are outside my apartment.
But David Attenborough, he's a hell of a guy. Holy crap. Just like everything he does, he's so... Just like, you know how he sounds. I take it you've seen some of his documentaries and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What you would like, he sounds regal as fuck. He also acts it in person. Like, holy crap. He is, I don't know, he's got this
I was
sense
really
around
hoping
him.
you were about to tell me he was a hoodlum.
Oh no, absolutely not. Like, David Attenborough is like, he walks into the room, he has this reputation because you know what he does and you know who he is. Yeah. And it's a case of you see him and he's just like, holy shit, yeah, okay, I see why. It's not just from the voice.
That's one thing that I actually really like about the fact that like we're YouTubers and not mainstream like celebrities. I mean, we're not even like big, you know what I mean? Like the earnings cap, so to speak, of recognition isn't as high for YouTubers.
No.
Like that was the hardest sentence I think I've had to say. God.
You started off really high and had to like work your way down the ladder to...
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the producer brain. I have to start at high level and then figure out how we're going to get there in the first place.
Speaking of regality, have I told you about the first day of work? The very first day that I had at that job?
No.
So, the first day, this was me going in for my trial shift. The day beforehand, I was at a film shoot. I had a bunch of props in my bag. So I got everything ready. I started to leave. I got down to the bottom of my apartment complex. I got down, was just walking up to the bus stop. I was like, oh, I should probably empty my bag. So I had to run back up, empty a bunch of shit out, then basically book it back down towards the thing. So middle of summer, really hot in Edinburgh, kind of sweating. Not a good start, even before I arrive. I get to this place, unsure of where it is. And this place is like in the middle of like a really dense residential area. And then it's just basically a large private land. So to get into it, it's got these large gates. And then you follow it down into like this kind of like open grassy area with trees down a lane. There's going to be people listening to this that probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I'm trying to keep it anonymous. Please don't let people know if you do know where this is.
Venue anonymous.
So I get there and I looked it on Google Maps, so I knew roughly what I was looking for. I got there. There were two policemen standing outside, one on either side of the gate, checking people as they go in. Like, huh? What? Okay, what's going on here? So I get up to them and they're like, could you stop? What are you doing here? I was like, I'm doing a trial shift at the events venue. I was like, okay, can we check your bag? He's like, okay, yeah. Opened it up. There was just like pens, a couple of stuff in there, like a notepad, ready, all that kind of stuff. And I closed it up and I was like, okay, brilliant, thanks. Okay, and I just continued on, walked down, and I was just thinking, I am so glad I got rid of that prop gun before I left. I had a prop gun and a prop knife in my bag. If I had not forgotten them, holy crap!
Yeah, you'd mean the slammer.
The reason the police were there, they're not there regularly. In fact, this is the only time I've ever seen police at the gate. I walk in, people are getting set up for everything. All the waiters, staff are setting up the tables. I find the previous AV tech, he's talking to a bunch of people. They're doing all that kind of stuff. I walk up to them. I'm like, hey, hi, yeah, I'm here for the trial shift. I'm like, okay, cool, just sit down there for a second. I'll get to you in a second. I take a step back, and I feel someone put like a hit into my shoulder as they're walking by. I was like, turn around. Oh, so sorry about that. It's freaking Prince Charles.
Oh.
I Prince Charles hit me in the shoulder walking by. Holy crap. What is this venue? Where am I getting a job? So I almost brought a prop gun and knife to meet Prince Charles on my first day.
Persona 5 players be like.
Oh my
God.
God.
That's something, I guess that joke probably needs some context for you.
Yeah.
In Persona 5, the weapons that everyone uses are canonically toys. They're just really convincing. So when you're in like the public consciousness in the metaverse, they just act as their real world counterparts. So if no one saw you fire the gun, you can empty your entire clip and then still keep shooting because they don't think you emptied the clip because they didn't see it in the first place.
So it's essentially the sense of perception.
Yeah.
Ah, neat.
So like realistically, meeting a government official, you could expect a Persona fan to be packing a very real looking prop gun.
Oh, actually, speaking of Prince Charles,
I don't like that we went from Prince Charles to Persona back to Prince Charles, but it was like a tangent relating to the tangent.
Well, it was about after I quit that job was horrendous, by the way. It was terrible. I absolutely abused at it. At my next job, about a year or two afterwards, I was in Edinburgh with two friends. We were walking up the Royal Mile, just checking out Games Workshop, all that kind of stuff. And we see a massive crowd of people up ahead. It's like, what's going on up there? So we walk on up, and it seems that there's someone famous is in the building. I was like, oh, okay, never mind then. Because overall, I'm not overly interested in famous people. Like, the whole idea of, like, celebrities and whatnot, and people flocking to them is like, oh, there's a famous person. Let's like, crowd around and try and get a glimpse. It doesn't interest me. It really doesn't.
Celebrity worship is a plague and a cancer on society, anyway.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool.
I said it.
So I was like, okay, cool. Is that what it is? So I started to walk away. And as soon as I started to do that, my friends saw someone walk out and they got into a car that was waiting for them. And I was just like, oh, who was it then? It was freaking Prince Charles again. And they were just like, oh crap, it's Prince Charles. I was like, oh, I've already met him. I'm not interested. I just walked away.
I've already gone on the corkscrew roller coaster. I don't need to do it again.
Oh, Prince Charles? Already been there.
Man, I feel like I don't go out enough to meet famous people. Apparently, I missed meeting Barack Obama by a weekend.
Oh, shit. How?
Yeah, my buddy met him camping, and it was a place that I almost also went camping that weekend.
So hang on. It was just completely out in the wilderness.
Yeah, no, it was just like Obama in the woods in New Hampshire somewhere, I'm pretty sure.
A wild Obama in the forest. That's crazy of all the people.
Yeah, just like it's weird. Everyone talks about like, random encounters that they have, but like you would not expect a Pokemon battle with Barack Obama in the middle of like a bug park. Like it is like to this day, I'm like sad I didn't go because I feel like that would have been a neat experience. But also imagine how you feel coming in with your camper and all of a sudden a limo pulls up and it's just like the Obamas and they're just like camping.
That's all they say as they walk into the woods with nothing.
Blank stare, no camper, no tents, just camping. Walk into the tree line,
and
like
disappear.
1,000-yard stare, no bags.
You just look back and the limousine just phases out of reality.
It's like a sad, like little chime plays.
The wind rustles the trees. The chime plays out. Did this really happen? And on the wind, you just hear a simple whisper. Camping.
Camping. God, dude. Yeah, no, like I can now that like things in New Hampshire are improving somewhat, I kind of can't wait to just go and do stuff. Ooh, I can do archery.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, now I'm in a good mood.
I've always wanted to try archery. I've never had the chance.
Dude, archery is fun as hell. I have a buddy who I used to work retail with. Really wonderful guy. He's got the same kind of energy I do of like, kill God or become him. but the thing is he got really into archery, and he is actually able to do the Robin Hood split your own arrow trick.
Oh my god.
He's not. I don't think he's a real person anymore. I think he's ascended to myth status.
Oh, coming back from the archery, any other famous people that you've met? Anything that you can like bring to mind?
I met my dad once.
Oh shit, dude! Get me an autograph.
So I came out of the womb, and he was there.
I do have. I'm just gonna list a couple of people. So there's from that job that I had. I met Dilly Keen from Amazing Ida. She got very frisky with me when I was miking her up. That was an experience.
Imagine getting mic'd up and getting cock slapped. That's society.
I didn't meet. I saw Leonardo DiCaprio from across the courtyard because he was in the hotel. Then the next day, I saw like a news article of him that he was in Edinburgh, and the photo that they took of him. He was walking by just a back street basically in Edinburgh next to like a Five Guys knockoff restaurant, and it's like he was just standing right at a fucking bus stop, which I use every single day. I was like, Leo, what are you doing? Why are you there? Of all places in Edinburgh.
God, dude, you said discount Five Guys, and all I can think of just like Cinco dudes.
I did the audio for Charlotte Church and a bunch of her music buddies. That was an experience.
I have no idea who most of these people are.
I think a lot of it's just UK based stuff. Speaking of, I did the audio. I ran the audio and lighting for Bryan Adams.
The gears are spinning, but nothing is happening.
Okay, that's a Canadian one. I thought you might know that one.
Nope.
I'm just trying to think.
I'm so divorced from celebrities. My life is happier because of it.
So away from that job, I did a stint of doing 2 conventions with another podcast. Like a couple of years ago, they brought me on to do videography stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, didn't end well. It was a weird situation, but I got to do 2 conventions, and I got to meet Caleb McLaughlin and Gatton Matarazzo.
McLaughlin sounds familiar.
2 of the kids from Stranger Things.
Oh, I thought he was the inventor of the Glock.
No. The thing was, right, the people I was with at that time, like 2 weeks beforehand, I'd introduced them to D&D. I'd run like a one-shot for them, and they were fucking hyped up about it. They were like constantly asking me to like do more D&D for them.
Yeah.
I was trying not to because I didn't really click with them too well.
Yeah.
But they brought it up because like Stranger Things episode 1, season 1, they start off playing D&D, you know, and there's like that line of that thread of like D&D monsters through the Stranger Things seasons 1, 2, and 3 or something like that. And they brought it up to fucking Caleb McLaughlin that, hey, do you actually play D&D outside of the show? Have you ever actually played? And like, no, but I've always been interested to. And then this fucking shithead just turns to me and goes, he does. He runs the game.
Oh, you just reminded me of an even more embarrassing story about meeting YouTubers.
So this guy just like looks at me and just outs me and is like, would you be interested for him to run you a D&D game sometime? I was like, oh, you don't do
dirty.
that. And I'm just at this point, I'm behind the tripod and this camera. And I'm just like, look up above and like, hey, just really awkwardly. It's like, oh God, I was just so fucking embarrassed. I'm just here trying to like do coverage of this. Like, don't get me wrong. It would have been cool if I got to run D&D for some of the Stranger Things kids. But at the same time, this is not the way you do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just, like, I guess the guy had like good intentions, I think. I don't know. He's very much what you would call a clout chaser.
A subhuman.
So I don't know. I think he had like good intentions with it, but it just came off really weird. But yeah, no, that didn't go anywhere. But I also got to meet. You see, I was about to say something there. I can't remember his name, but I got to meet the guy that created and operated the Yoda puppet.
Oh.
And in my mind, the way I was about to say it was, I met the guy that fisted Yoda for a living.
I think that's still accurate.
Okay, I'm out. Jeez.
I think that's a good place for us to call our break.
Fisting Yoda.
I mean, nothing says it's time to take a pee break more than fisting Yoda.
Oh my god. That's all I can remember at the moment.
See, I remembered one of my stories, but I'm not telling it.
Why not?
I cringe too hard thinking about it.
Oh, come on. I just
No.
mentioned I met the guy that fists Yoda for a living. Please.
No, I'm not. I'm saving this story. It's worse than the Mark and Jack one. It was 2012 Lumo. It was my first convention, or rather my first PAX. So I guess 2013. But
Nick Maley was his name. Yeah, I did an interview with Nick Maley.
this is a story that we'll leave up for another day.
Okay.
So we're going to be right back. Enjoy this quick ad from our Patreon, and we will see you guys in a couple of minutes.
Oh hey, welcome to the Midroll. You call me getting comfy and putting my feet up from all this exhausting editing I've been doing today. Grab yourself a robe and a luxurious cool pop and let's talk for a while. I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support you're showing for this show. We don't advertise it but rely on word of mouth, so if you like it, please consider sharing it with friends or even your enemies. We won't judge. Wherever you listen to the show, please comment, like, rate, or whatever it is there to help the show grow and get seen by others. All the help is really appreciated. I'd also like to thank our patrons who help make all of this possible. Our top tier patrons I'd like, and legally obligated, to mention are Alikar Safiro and Audrey Resendez. I hope I said those right. All of your support helps keep the show running smoother and make it better. If you want to support the show, then head on over to patreon.com/podcast Tangents, where you'll get such things as access to the Patreon exclusive Discord, monthly exclusive episodes, a monthly Q&A session, your name in the credits of episodes, and outtakes and bloopers amongst other things. Our current Patreon goal is to be able to hire an editor to ensure more consistent and high quality content for you all, and I personally would love this as I sit here editing and recording this midroll at 3 a.m. the day before this episode goes live. So once again, that's patreon.com/podcast tangents. Let's jump back into the episode, shall we? And we are back. Welcome back. Did you like that ad roll?
I peed.
I mean, that was more towards the audience, not you, dude.
Oh, I didn't pee then. Don't believe me.
Oh, I'm sorry. How was your pee?
Sad.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say frothy. So we're going to go on to our second topic now, which is the one that you posed for. Don't. Let's not do frothy piss again. What was your topic? Was average versus above average? And I'm not quite sure where you're wanting to go with this.
Well, this is the thing. So we had a whole anti-motivational speaking thing, and a lot of people were talking about, like, you know, in the comments, they're like, well, I just feel like I want to just be an employee. I don't want to deal with all that headache. And I figured it was vaguely worth revisiting while it was still on my mind, and I actually have a couple of thoughts that I think would be interesting conversational topics, my friend.
Okay, lead the way.
All right, so as you guys know, I've been trying to lose weight, and I am abnormally driven to just do things, and I don't think much about them. I try and just kick ass, because if I start being indecisive, I get nothing done, and then I collapse in on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of what I've been trying to do has been very arbitrary goals recently that don't end up actually helping me and were in fact a hindrance. So it's kind of an area that I wanted to talk about, because average versus above average has a third tier of overachieving, which then causes an issue.
Okay. All right.
Because let me give a good example. There are 3 dudes. One goes to the gym and bikes for 30 minutes at a leisurely pace. The next one goes into the gym and bikes at an active pace for 45 minutes, and he's our above average example. And then you have the overachiever who's there for 90 minutes and burns 1,800 calories.
So
the only one who is doing more that helps them are the first 2 guys. The overachiever has actually hurt themselves.
Yeah, because that's like a full-on sprint, and trying to treat that as the norm, you're going to, damage yourself in the long term. If you're sprinting at full force and you're trying to think, I can keep this up, I can keep doing this, no, you're going to fall harder than the others.
Yeah, no. So, like, this is why I wanted to actually talk about average versus above average, because I wanted to, in a way, kind of tell people to temper themselves, if that makes sense. So we kind of talked about this last time, where if you're trying to build up for a goal, you kind of have to start slow, otherwise you're going to like burn out. And this very much follows that same kind of vein of like, you know, start slow and don't go crazy at first. But I would like to amend that statement with within limits. I've been reading that book a lot about like procrastination and stuff, and it's given me a lot more to think about than I really wanted to all at once. Oh god. Well, you know how I'm like really optimistic and like I always, you know, say I can do this, I can make this happen, I can push my way through, etc.
Yeah, the way I put that is forced optimism at times.
The book called me out.
The thing is, you're an optimistic person, yeah? That's without fail. But at times, I feel like you don't need to be optimistic all the damn time. You don't, like, forcing yourself to, like, push through things instead of, like, taking it on in stride instead.
Well, this is why I'm going to therapy. My optimism is because I used to be a depressive bastard and I don't want to be that guy again. But, like, the thing is what the book was saying was, like, optimism and self-doubt are exceedingly healthy in doses.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to question yourself, but you also have to be able to think, I can do this. The example they gave was you can fire off 100 job applications and get one interview, and you have to wake up the next day and tell yourself it's going to be all right. But you can also, you know, have some questions about if you're able to perform in this task and, you know, adjust and get help as necessary. Being able to think that you're not the world's hottest shit makes you the world's hottest shit. Let's just be upfront about that. But the thing is, they're like, and if you're overly optimistic, you'll just assume it'll all work out and you don't have to do anything. Which called me out flat in the face. But like, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Like, I feel as though my philosophy that I've been preaching has been preaching overachieving rather than achieving above average.
Yeah, there have been cases where you keep like pushing and pushing and pushing. Like I don't mean like pushing like people to go in like dangerous areas. What I mean is like as you said earlier, not everyone can be going at one person's best and above best is not the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Everyone works at different calibers, everyone works at different speeds, at different qualities, all this kind of stuff. What one person, like, trying to push people to go, like, beyond their means, limits, and all that kind of stuff is more damaging than anything else, because this isn't, like, what you've done, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like, kind of in general, like, there is a culture of telling people to push beyond what I would feel is realistic.
Go plus ultra.
Well,
break
no,
your
not
limits.
even that. not even that. Because, like, the way that I've always viewed, you know, the whole plus ultra thing from my hero is he's saying go beyond, like, yourself, not beyond him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself the little bit of extra effort. Don't try and compete with others. Push yourself past your limit.
But I would then say that might be lost in translation to some people. Mainly
yes, not like me.
Because, like, if you see someone being like, you can do this, you can keep pushing yourself, you can go further and further and further and all this kind of stuff, they may be more proficient at whatever it is than you. And then if you start to struggle and feel, I'm not able to do this kind of stuff, as well as, like, I've been told that I can, and, like, the inspiration, all that kind of stuff, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you cannot reach the same thing as this person saying, oh, you can do this, just keep pushing, keep going, you're just pushing yourself down. Because if you don't reach that, then that's failure.
Yes, which you have seen me do plenty of times.
Yeah. Just do things within your own means and be careful about it.
Yeah, I've kind of discovered that it's very easy once you get on a roll. Because, like, here's the thing. Yeah, people know failure spirals. Like, everyone's had one where it's like, oh, I failed this test. Oh, I got home, I fucked up my cooking. Like, oh no, now my girlfriend's mad at me. Like, oh, now I can't sleep. Then, you know, start the next day. And the spiral just keeps going and going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
Though that exists in the opposite, called a success spiral. Where you had a really good day, you aced your test, you made a wonderful dinner, had a nice night with your girlfriend, like, and it just keeps going and going. And if you don't take the time to pull yourself back in either scenario, you actually have a real good chance of, like, damaging yourself. Because, like, you know, failure spirals, you let yourself fall into depression and then you just, you know, fall to entropy. But on a success spiral, you start to think that you can do anything. and you take on more work than you than you normally would, because you feel like you can, because you've been kicking so much ass recently. Like I've learned so much in the last 4 days just reading my ADHD book.
Well, that's the thing, right? Jumping off of that, if you have a really good day and then you think, right, next day I'm going to do even better, and then you hold yourself to that, then you push that up, and the next day you do better, and then the next day, like, I'm going to keep doing this, and you have the next day is also better as well. Constant improvement. At some point, there is a limit. So if you keep trying to say, every single thing has to be better the next time, you're going to put yourself into a corner eventually. You're going to hit a ceiling, because at some point, you're not going to be able to keep doing better and better and better and better, because you're going to hit the top at some point.
Yeah. Like I found my upper limit when I was still living with my parents, and you saw during that period, I was fucking thriving.
Mm-hmm.
But when I moved out, I became determined to, continue that without accepting the new situation. And that is why I kind of had my issues. Like, as weird as it sounds, I feel, at least myself, and I would assume a decent amount of the audience, because I know a lot of people relate to my weird bullshit, aren't kind enough to themselves. So when, they try and keep pushing up and up and they have one off day, that starts an inverse spiral. So it's just an unending helix.
Like, what I'm trying to say is, don't always think that things are going to be like, fuck, hang on, let me try and figure out how I want to phrase this.
Things will be good, things will suck, learn to deal with both.
Yes, but also take things in stride, and not everything needs to be a constant upwards growth, if that makes sense. I guess this comes back to the idea of perfectionism, which we spoke about before, which can be extremely detrimental.
It is both of our sins.
Yeah. The thing is, right, at some point, once you get to a stage where you feel like, if you can take a step back and look at what you're doing, or whatever it is, and at that point you think, this is actually to a pretty good level, this is a good standard, set your standard there, because then you can just stay there, and whatever you do is good. You don't need to you can still try and learn and get better at whatever it is afterwards, but then you've set yourself a solid standard to keep yourself to. Because then if you go up, you can still go up, but if you go down, it's not as if you can just come back up to it.
Yeah.
Because if you hit the roof, every time you try and do something and then you feel, it wasn't as good as what I've done before, you're going to be hitting that wall of frustration and just starting to feel like you're, imposter syndrome kicks in and all this kind of stuff.
I would say it's possible to push the ceiling up, but you have to be very careful about it. You can't just rocket your way up there.
No.
Like if you want to raise the roof a little bit, you gotta
lay solid foundations.
Yeah. Like, to give an example with me in sculpting, when I'm making foliage for my scene, like the current video, I have to, I sculpt one rock and it'll take me an hour to just get the sculpt done. And that's never mind the material, the unwrap, and everything else.
Yeah.
So I only have an hour. So I get the rock done in the hour. So the next day, maybe I try and get the rock done by 50 minutes or 58 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I can find the improvement. But it's never I need to be done in half an hour. There's no massive jumps anymore. Because every time I make a massive jump, it works sometimes. Sometimes being the operative word, and you can hear the tone of my voice to get the subtext. But it's that's just kind of why I wanted to have this topic, though, because I wanted to walk back some of my philosophies, because I don't want to be put in a situation where somebody hears me talk about how badass they could be and then goes out and does a me and doesn't stop and take a look. It's a weirdly personal topic, and I'm sorry for using it as a springboard.
No, I mean, it's a good thing to talk about. I think there's a lot of people that need to hear about this as well. This is one of the beauties of this podcast this is weird to me, because I didn't expect this kind of thing, but it seems like a lot of people relate to what we do and how we think, and just listen to what we say, and there's shit, yeah, that actually makes kind of sense, which is a terrifying concept, by the way.
Well, here's the thing, Alex. You and I made it a point in our lives to never be fake, if that makes sense. We try and keep things, at least with our mental health and mentalities, we've kept them pretty forward facing because, at least on my end, I feel it is important that like I document when I'm struggling. So if someone follows my journey, like say there's some kid who wants to be a YouTuber, like a game developer, and they're inspired by me or whatever, they're going to look at what I've done in the past and they're going to realize that I fucking struggled to get where I am.
Yeah. You will struggle with regardless what you're doing. And everything is not like a constant, everything's fine, everything's happy kind of thing, which there was, oh God, what was it? There was something that I saw about that. I read an article about this and there was like the mental health of the online age kind of thing where
it's got to be dog shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because like, I think what the article was talking about was like things like Twitter. Well, not Twitter because that's a cesspit now. Facebook and things like Facebook and Instagram, because people only post the best of themselves. They want to. They basically paint themselves as the best parts of them, and they basically create a narrative about themselves that they want other people to follow. They don't see the bad parts. They only see life is great. Life is brilliant. Look at my amazing life. You don't see the struggles behind all of that. Like, regardless of who it is, there's going to be rough times. There's going to be difficulties and all this kind of stuff. And quite frankly, that kind of stuff is just as important.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Reality sucks. Just donkey balls. Society exists in reality, and, like, we're unfortunately all stuck living in one. But it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like if I don't document when I fuck up or when I feel horrible, people are going to look at me and what I put out, and it's going to set an unrealistic expectation. So some kid might look at me and end up having the same bad reaction I ended up having to motivational speakers. I don't want that. I would rather people not think of me as like the world's coolest dude and instead just think of me as like a driven dude who makes a lot of mistakes because he doesn't take care of himself as much as he should.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same kind of philosophy that I have with my stuff, my creation, like the work that I'm putting out is if I really wanted to, I could just chase the trends. I could just climb in, do all that kind of stuff. And I could just start making stuff, which quite frankly, I would not really enjoy doing if I wanted to jump in, and most likely I could grow quite fast.
Yeah, your content's high quality enough that if you actually just chased trends, you'd be there in no time.
That's the thing. I don't want to do that. I'd rather get to the place that I want to do and have my own journey, making stuff that I want to make and I enjoy doing, instead of just doing things that I wouldn't like doing, but getting success. To some people, that might seem very backwards and just very stupid, but at the same time, it's what I want to do. It's how I've wanted to do things. I don't want to be fake about anything.
Yeah. Like, I kind of lost sight of what I wanted for the last couple of months, which has been damning for like my everything, which sucks. But one tip that my mom gave me, well, two tips, and I think these are very important. She is a wizened woman, very old. I love you, Mom. She gave me two tips. Design your ideal life and then work it back, and make sure to routinely take high-level audits of yourself. Because, like, here's the thing. A lot of the time when you start having issues, or at least when I personally start having issues, I don't fucking notice it until, like, we collapse.
No, absolutely.
Like this time I actually noticed. How many months have I been telling you, I'm going to burn out. I'm going to burn out. I'm going to burn out. It's coming. I feel it. And then did nothing about it. Like, this is the first time in a long time I think I actually felt my impending collapse coming, and I did nothing about it. Normally, if I feel something like this, as you know, I tend to pull up and pull back. I didn't. But, like, that's the thing. If I had taken a higher level audit of myself and identified what was stressing me out, I probably wouldn't have collapsed at all. I probably would be thriving a lot more than I am right now. So it's like, having a concrete goal that you can make yourself an actionable list of items back from, and making sure to routinely audit yourself and how you're keeping along with those goals goes a long way in keeping you, like, moving towards something regardless of life situations, and helps you deal with the world a lot more, because the world will punch you in the dick, and you sadly don't get a say about that because the world is metaphysical and we're talking emotionally.
Oh no.
Yeah, remember that one episode of Regular Show where they tried to beat up a song, but they couldn't because the song was a concept? That's what this is like. I hate that Regular Show has a metaphor for what I'm trying to say here, but like anyone who's watched Regular Show knows that exact episode with the really annoying, catchy summer song.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah, I remember it.
yeah. Like I don't want to get too far off topic, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like if you guys, were touched by my philosophy as far as like effort and everything goes a couple of episodes ago, I want you to listen to me now, write your goals down, make a list of what you need to do to achieve them, make sure it's only stuff that's in your control, set deadlines, hang this somewhere, remember it, but remember to live your goddamn life. And if you start to feel like you can't do it, audit yourself. Take stock of what you're thinking, take stock of when you're feeling it. Take stock of what you're feeling, what caused it, what triggered it, where were you, what happened. Because if you can do that, you can start to identify what's troubling you, and it'll help you stay on your path. But if you fall from your path, it's only going to cause you more anguish. So you got to just be conscious about yourself, I guess. Not self-conscious, but like aware.
A major skill, which I've only recently started to learn, like, the issues that I went through like late last year to this beginning of this year, and
Yeah.
I'm only just starting to get fucking better.
That does not paint a good timeline for me.
It's like one of the main things that I've learned, and I think is like an absolutely crucial skill, and it ties in with what you're saying, is self-reflection, critical self-reflection, and being
Yes.
objective about yourself.
That's not an easy skill.
No,
I'm
it's not.
27, and it's still something I struggle with.
Absolutely, like it's not something that's taught. It's something that people just kind of slowly gravitate towards in their life, and everyone arrives at it at like a different time because they need it at that time.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like life skills are not taught in places that they should be taught. They are taught when they are necessary.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't have to have life roundhouse kick you in the face to learn that you need to be somewhat measured in your approach.
That's the thing. I mean, a lot of times these skills these really useful skills are only normally learnt after the damage is done and you need to try and find a way to fix things.
Yeah. Like for me, I wasn't being self-aware enough in like a lot of interpersonal relationships with a lot of my friends. Because as you know, I've been just pushing myself nonstop for the last like 3 months, trying to like get myself to a place where I'm working less.
Yeah.
And because I lacked that critical reflection, I got roundhouse kicked in the face, and then I had to pick myself up off the ground and go, wait, what? So now I have to work my way back through everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, again, that's why I wanted to bring this kind of thing up, because like, you guys are now hearing from two people who have lived probably more life than you, unless you're older than us, in which case, thank you for watching our podcast, sir or madam.
Thank you for your service.
But no, like listen to us when we're telling you like learn to be able to look at yourself and be okay with maybe not seeing something you like, which is kind of a hard thing, I think. Because if you don't like what you're seeing and that thing is you, you're like, ooh.
I mean, at that point, if you're able to do that, like gassing yourself up and having the confidence is great and all, but to the point where it starts to blind you that you can't even start to notice things maybe slipping away, things aren't as good as you say they are, all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff can really catch up on you later on. Being able to like reflect and like identify these issues and say, like, as you're saying, like look in a mirror and the thing you don't like might be parts of yourself, it might be yourself, God knows what it could be. Take steps. If you identify it, you can then start to take steps to fix things and start moving towards what you want it to be.
But actually take the steps, that's something that I didn't do.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, I was auditing myself and I was like realizing these issues, and then I did nothing about them until it was too late. Which, I mean, is kind of the most Lumo thing physically possible, but it really shouldn't be.
No,
I'm a
it really
grown-ass
shouldn't.
man. I have bills. I pay taxes.
Speaking on that kind of thing, like I've been doing all this kind of stuff, and I've started to identify the stuff that I'm lacking in. Like I've mentioned this, just today, I got my acceptance that I'm going back to uni again to get my second degree. I'm now officially going back to uni, which is a terrifying concept.
So if you make puns, does that mean you're a unicorn? No, that joke had no through line. I'm sorry. Continue.
Why do I keep you around?
I'm cute.
Remember, we were just talking about overconfidence?
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
No, like I've taken the steps to realize where I'm lacking in life, and I'm going back to uni to get a degree in something else which has a more tangible skill set that I can get a job and make more money so I can invest and I can do other things with that kind of stuff. I'm building up this course is going to take me 4 to 5 years to complete. I'm looking into being able to immigrate over towards Canada or America at some point after I get my degree and all this kind of stuff. I'm building up my skills in videography and photography. I'm building up connections. I'm learning to frickin' drive finally. Like
which is pretty poggers.
Yeah, like at the beginning of the year, I was just muddling away through life, and I had to take this time to like really look back at it and be like, yeah, shit, I've got a lot of catching up to do. I've got to do a lot of work to get where I want to be going.
Yeah, like for me, it's kind of the same boat but different. I know fully what I want my end game to look like. I want a career on YouTube. I want to have a small media empire, not to the scale of like Linus Tech Tips, but of acceptable scale. I want a house in my hometown which overlooks all of the mountains. I want to have lived my life telling stories, but I keep getting in my own way. So I decided no more, and I'm going to therapy.
Yeah,
because
which is fantastic.
If I keep getting in my own way, Alex, you really thank you for the meme because you could tell I was like about to break. But I don't need to hear "dunk your pretzel in my nacho cheese" in a sexual sense while I am trying to speak openly about mental health.
Look. When we're talking about heavy subjects, there's a technique where you go underneath. Basically, you go under the water, you start talking about the heavy stuff, but sometimes you need to come back up. You need to alleviate things before you can go back down.
No, I do appreciate that. I didn't need a breath of air.
This is my way of bullshitting my way out because I just saw the meme and I thought it was funny.
But no, like that's the thing though. It's like you know how many times I have tried to start this plan and then collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And this time is no different. And the fact that it's no different means I need to be different. So instead of just sitting here, fingers up my ass, like, oh, I'll just get it next time. No, fuck that. I need a professional. And that's expensive. Please support our Patreon. GoFundMe, America's universal healthcare system.
Wait, hold on. Our Patreon is not for your therapy.
No, I'm joking. But like, that's the thing though. Is like, it's one of those things where it's like, at a certain point, I find, like, this is me. This is not something that most people should do. In fact, the only reason why I get to do it is because I haven't seen my professional yet. But whenever life gets too bad, I have a tendency to just try and choke slam it to the ground and force it into submission. It works a decent amount of the time, actually. But you can't always brute force stuff. So when brute force doesn't work, I have to rethink how I'm dealing with things. So in this instance, because I'm not being the best at catching myself, A, I reestablished my support network with a bunch of people. But B, again, therapy. Like Alex said, finding weak points is good because then you can correct them. You can take steps to correct them. I am sweating like balls in my room. I am sorry. I'm losing my train of thought because I just felt a bead of sweat go across like 3 fat rolls. And that really, like, I thought it was a tear. No, tears don't originate from my chest yet. They could. The day is young. Have you ever cried from your nipples, Alex?
No, I have not. I don't tend to lactate.
No, not milk, just tears.
My point still stands.
But yeah, no. So when it comes to average versus above average, and you want to be in that above average camp, you don't have to go too far. You can spend an extra 15 minutes on the bike. You can, give it a little bit of extra effort. You can try and bring down your sculpting times. You can stay maybe an extra 15 minutes at work, but do not forsake things for the sake of being better than others. Do not forsake yourself for the sake of, overperforming. Find a way to do that little bit extra and be content in that you are a little bit better than you were before. And that's all I had on that topic. We took a roundabout way of getting there, but I feel like this was a good conversation for the audience and for us as lovers.
Oh, let's take a step back from that one.
You can't say it on Twitter and then divorce me here, you bastard. What about our child?
It's on eBay.
You can do that now?
You always could.
Oh, what a society we live in.
God damn! And I think that's a good place for us to finish off today. We were so damn close. That
was like my fourth society. What are you talking about?
I guess I'm just starting to blank them out.
I can't believe I've created an auto-repression system for you. I'm kind of proud.
You are gonna force me into therapy soon.
It'll help, I promise.
What's the issue, society?
Yeah, but like unironically though.
Wait, where do we even begin with that?
Step 1, buy a model gun and a model knife. Step 2.
Okay, hold on.
Awaken your persona.
Okay, I thought I was going to very different routes. Okay, yep. But no, I think that's a good place for us to finish off for today. If you like the episode, let us know. Make sure on whatever platform you're doing, leave a comment, leave us a rating, give us 5 stars. Let us know because all the stuff that you do helps boost us up in the ratings on the different platforms, and we would absolutely appreciate you for doing that. If you want to see some more, there's a bunch more episodes that you can check out on all the different platforms, and if you want to, you can check out our Patreon as well if you want to support the show and become a producer for us as well. Shut the
I cannot wait for you to review this waveform.
I'm just going to mute it. As soon as I hear this part, I'm just going to cut your track.
No. I did so much work to keep saying society under my noise gate so Discord wouldn't pick it up.
You can check out our Discord. You can check out our Patreon if you want to support us. You can get a bunch of tasty extra benefits as well, such as you can get access to the Patreon exclusive Discord. You can get Patreon exclusive episodes. You can see the bloopers and outtakes and all this kind of stuff. You can even get your name on the middle of the midroll. Hey, all that kind of stuff. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we hope to see you next time.